going with Loud at number 6. No, I didn't know if I was popping it in or what. Yeah, I'm putting Loud at the bottom. The Brazilian teams. I even had a Brazilian guy or Brazilian fan comment on one of my last videos. He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm in Brazil, big League of Legends fan. I think we're gonna get last too." So hey, I'm all for the bandwagon. Let's go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Rob and Jerm show. I'm Rob, he's Jerm. What's going on, man?
I'm ready to go, man. Couple days away from Worlds. Still can't get here soon enough.
It is exciting. Thursday. Thank God, I'm so excited. I'm so ready, bro. So ready to see NA dash our hopes away again. Hopefully not, though. These plans are something, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Make sure go back and look. We played some fun games last week and did our World's tier list. This may or may not be, I don't know, influenced by it. I say may or may not. It probably, I don't know, subconsciously influenced by it, but I don't remember exactly what our tier list rankings were, so I'm just going to go with it.
Right.
I'm going with what I think now. And, yeah, I mean, with that, we are going to start with Group B. Or no, you know what? I changed my mind. I've already changed my mind. We're going to start with Group A, actually. And my reasoning being, I think Group B is going to be a little bit more interesting. So, yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll just switch off back and forth about, where we believe these teams are going to end up. And we'll start with number 6. So if you would like, Jerm, lead us off.
Yeah, I'm going to be going with Loud. I don't know if I can enter stuff in this or not. Okay, I cannot. I'm going to be going with Loud at number 6. No, I didn't know if I was popping it in or what. Yeah, I'm putting Loud at the bottom. The Brazilian teams. I even had a Brazilian guy or Brazilian fan comment on one of my last videos. He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm in Brazil, big League of Legends fan. I think we're going to get last too." So hey, I'm all for the bandwagon. Let's go.
Guys. Who we'd never seen before, like an 18, I think Brance is their 18-year-old AD carry, and I was like, okay, and Croc is from South Korea, so I was like, all right, like, maybe they'll be okay, and then I was like, wait, I'm an idiot. They're absolutely going to be 6. Like, there's just no reason to do anything else right now. I hate to be that guy for them, but it's just tough. And, it's tough for them to get to Worlds, and, yeah, it's very popular down there in Brazil. And I'm glad that all of you support League of Legends as much as you do, but your guys' competitive scene could use still a tiny bit more work. So hopefully we're wrong for the Brazilian fans that are watching, but I don't think that's going to happen this week. Unlucky for them, truly. All right, at 5, then I had Isurus. Isurus. Did I not put Isurus on here?
Wrong group.
Why is it the wrong group? I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you're between.
I'm just stupid. Just ignore me. I'm sorry. I had I actually had Detonation Focus Me here at 5. I apologize.
Yeah.
My reasoning is that like Utapon is back and Steel, EV, like they have experience, but I do think while they were pretty good, they were also very predictable at times, especially last year, and it doesn't sound like they got any better with Arya leaving. So I'm going to go with the things that I know a little bit better than when I'm going to speculate on some of these minor region teams. I watched a couple videos. Nobody really has very high hopes for Japan this year, and neither do I.
Yeah, it was crazy because it seemed like they were on the track of getting better and better year in and year out. I actually have Dead FM at 5 as well, and I thought that was going to be a little bit spicy. But yeah, I got Chiefs at 4. The Osh fans have talked me into it. I was reading something that like one of the analysts or casters or whatever was like, if this Osh team isn't good, then no Osh team ever is going to be good. Like they're that confident that this is the Osh super team. And just like the best team that the Osh has ever had and maybe will ever have going forward in the future. So yeah, I got them at 4. I'm buying into it. Dead FM, they weren't that good at MSI. They had some hype at one point, but I think they're probably falling off a little bit. Maybe not all the way below Osh, but maybe.
Osh barely even has a regional league. How are we that confident in this, and some of their best players. I mean, Fudge and FBI are in the LCS, and both are going to Worlds, so I don't know that I can believe that. I'm still going to also put them at 4, mainly for the fact that I just think they're better than Detonation Focus Me. I don't know that they're a super team. That's so interesting that you heard that.
Oh, super team.
Super team. I'm sorry, but I've seen Tapoon play in LCS Academy. I've seen Tally play. I've seen Raze especially play. I'm not impressed. They could also...
Super is not the word you'd use?
Not even a little bit. I'll be honest with you. I don't expect much from these guys. I realistically think they probably split with either of the 2 teams below us, and then sweep the other 2. And I think those will be their only wins, or their only win, excuse me. So or they don't even split. I'm sorry, they play once. So I think they'll
I thought you meant split with the 2 teams.
Yeah,
below.
that's what I meant initially. Sorry. So
There you go.
Yeah, I do not have very high expectations. That's the one thing though about this play-ins that is very interesting.
It's
is there
one
is
game,
a second
anything can
chance.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is what
Who
it
you got
is.
at 3?
Yeah. At 3, I'm going to put Fnatic. I just think I like this team. I initially had them as my number 1 team, but Upset, when they weren't really able to play around Upset, they didn't play very well. And losing a voice like Hillisang on this team, regardless of how crazy he is, that's just too much for me to believe that they're at least going to get even close to the automatic seed. I wouldn't be surprised to see them drop a game to one of the 3 teams below us, or below where I have them. So, yeah, unfortunate for them. I think if they had the full team, I'd probably put them a lot higher, potentially even at 1. But you lose your whole bot lane in a potentially bot lane focused meta, you're just not. That's not good.
Yeah, I one thing I have said about Fnatic is that some people are saying maybe the meta is going to be shifting away from bot lane a little bit, so maybe they'll be okay. I still am going with Beyond Gaming at 3. I still think Fnatic has enough talent with like Humanoid, Razork, Wonder. Like those guys are so good. They should be able to outclass. Bean was pretty good at Worlds last year. The only thing I worry about for Bean is that Bean looked good at Worlds last year with Hillisang as a support. How's he going to look with Rux as a support? Also, we don't know how many games these guys are going to miss yet. Yes, it does suck that the first game is against EG, but I think they should be able to beat all the other teams. So I do have Fnatic at 2. Especially when I throw in the fact that they weren't even scrimming or anything like that. Already had me bumping them down. That's just weird. So I already had Fnatic at 2nd, regardless of the bot lane. I'm keeping them at 2nd now. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's tough for me because I watched so many Fnatic games because I had Humanoid on my fantasy team. And let me tell you, my heart was broken more than a few times by this man. He can absolutely carry games. He can also int them away. It never felt like he and Razork and Wonder were really on the same page. It really felt like they had to play through Upset to win, and that's what worries me. So I have Beyond Gaming just because, not that I know a lot about the PCS, but I do know that it's generally better than a lot of the other minor regions. And it sounds to me like we're having another Fnatic situation at Worlds this year that's not ideal, and I'm sure a lot of the players are probably really upset about it, and I do think it's going to affect their mental. I think they're going to drop a couple games in these, they only play 5 games. You don't get a second chance. I think even dropping 2 games is enough for you to potentially be in 3rd. I see that for sure happening against what is ultimately going to end up being our number 1 team, which is Evil Geniuses. And I think we should probably go into what's good news for NA, for Evil Geniuses here. What do you think, man?
No. I still really like EG. I do think that Danny towards the end of the year wasn't that good and was having some champ pool issues, and it sounds like the EG team is really excited about Cowrie and his champ pool, and I think the couple weeks of getting to scrim with him is going to be cool. Jojo Pune smashing Niski in Champions Queue last night, getting things started. Like Jojo Pune is so good. That's the LEC MVP. Smacked him around. He's confident. We're in NA. The EG team is just, I think, going to be really, really fun, and I think they'll be able to make a statement in this first game against Fnatic and then kind of roll from there. I expect I think really if they don't go 5-0, it's pretty disappointing.
Yeah, I could see them dropping one game just because it's random NABS. But I'll be honest with you, the difference between them losing their AD carry and Fnatic losing their entire bot lane is this. I think Bean is a pretty highly touted prospect, or was. I think he's fallen off a little bit. I know I really enjoyed him at EU Masters and stuff last year and the year before, but I believe Cowrie was probably one of the best AD carries we already had coming up and was probably going to be an LCS, AD carry anyways.
Yeah.
And when I look at Inspired, when I look at Impact, a literal, world champion, and the way JoJo's been playing, the way Vulcan's been playing, this team is resilient. They've had a lot of issues, and they fought through them. They still were only one game away from going to finals in the LCS, which I think was one of the strongest LCS seasons we've ever had. I am very confident that they make it out of this group in first place as well. So,
yeah,
and they got the easiest group. Can't complain about that. All right, so then that puts us in knockouts. Now we have a little bit different, so I don't know if we want to put Beyond or Fnatic automatically. I will actually put Fnatic because I was really struggling with putting them at third, I'll be honest with you. So I'm okay putting them at 2, which means that we get Beyond versus Chiefs. All right, I'll go first on this one since I made you go first on the last one. I think Beyond takes this. I don't think it's going to be all that close, honestly. Because it's what, a best of what series?
Best of 5.
Best of 5,
I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here, I got it up. I want to make sure I get this right. Yeah, matches are best of 5. Okay. So yeah, I just think that Beyond also plays much tougher competition. There's a reason why they have 2 groups at Worlds, or 2 teams at Worlds. So I'm gonna say that Beyond takes game 1, or I guess series 1.
Yeah, no, I definitely think so too. I think for Chiefs, even if they do make it to this point, like all the Osh fans would be very, very happy. I think this would be like a stomp. I would probably predict Beyond like 3-0 in this,
Okay.
and yeah, wouldn't really have much to say about it.
Fair enough. All right. Well then, we have Fnatic versus Beyond. Who's moving on and who is?
Yeah, I mean, again, same thing for me there. I have Fnatic over Beyond in the group stage. I think Fnatic is probably better in best of 5s than they are in best of 1s as well, I would assume. And at this point, they should have Upset and Hylissang fully back, fully scrimmed and practiced and everything. And I do think we're going to really see this year, during all of Worlds, I think we're going to see the gap between the LCS, LEC, and even the top minor regions. And this is another series that I would really lean towards a 3-0 for Fnatic.
Yeah, and I'm going to actually agree with you. I know I didn't put them as high before, but, my main reasoning for this is, first off, they looked terrible going into playoffs, and then they played their asses off, went really far. It's hard for me not to see them, making their way out of this group, to be honest with you, just because of how easy I think it is. And they couldn't have asked for an easier challenge, in my opinion, to lose your AD carry and your support in. So there is still turmoil going on over there, but it's hard for me to pick against them in a best of 5 against literally anybody other than EG in this group, and that won't happen. So all right, if we're feeling good, then let's move on up here. All right, who do you got at 6?
Yeah, I have Isurus. I think they'll probably be the worst team. I think Latam is probably the worst region right now. I don't really see a reason to put Isurus above 6th.
Yeah, I also am going to do that as well. They occasionally will pull out one really cool game, and it's great, good for you guys. Why are you at Worlds
next year?
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not really thinking, especially with how hard their group is going to be. They're going to have. They do
have home field advantage though. I believe Latam plays in this studio.
They play in the LA studio?
No, they're in Mexico City.
Oh, that's right. We're in Mexico City for the first one. Okay. Yeah, I guess that might. I don't know. I guess that might help. I guess they'll have fans there supporting there. No, yeah. Not really. Not enough.
Maybe.
Not enough. All right, so then at 5, I got Istanbul Wildcats. This is not like the Turkey of old. They've been getting kind of picked apart for the last few years by LEC and LCS teams. Now, if this was like a true super team of Turkish talent, I would honestly say that kind of a team could absolutely compete with everybody. This is not that kind of team right now. I don't. They maybe have one or two people who will get picked up in the LCS or LEC later on, but I see them beating Isurus and maybe taking one random game. I have a very specific team that I'm thinking of here in that regard, but
might know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't go past 5 for them.
Yeah, same. I have Wildcats, and just not that excited for them. Same thing. Their top players get stolen. They haven't been replenishing them as they've been losing them.
No. Yeah. All right. Then number 4, it's to you, my friend.
Yeah. Number 4,
it's spicy. I know it.
Going with Mad Lions for sure.
I knew it.
Yeah, I believe the only team in history to make it here without winning a best of 5, and okay, usually that wouldn't really matter. We are going to be on a whole nother patch that is going to maybe change some things up, but I do think a lot of their success from summer versus spring revolved around Niski, him coming in, unlocking El Yoya, allowing some guys to step up, but I really think Arma's a liability. I think Niski at Worlds is a liability. Who knows what's going to happen with Unforgiven? And then if all of that is happening around them, Kaiser and El Yoya, they're great, but it's a team game.
It is a team game. And for that reason, I am putting Saigon Buffalo at 4. Listen, this is this team I've heard is not too bad, but I forget who I was watching a video on, and it was like a player from this region, and they were like, yeah, they're not very good. They're not bad, but they're not very good. And normally when somebody says that, especially if they're coming from the region, but they're playing in, it was either NA or somewhere else. I couldn't remember exactly who it was. But, I'm not really all that confident in this region in general, I'll be honest with you. And so I think there are 3 teams from the 3 major regions that are just better. So I'm going to put them there. You're also going to love my number 3 pick, which is going to be DRX, okay? Here's my deal with DRX. They barely made it. They finished 6th in their playoffs, so we're talking about Mad not doing great. Neither did they. They were not very good in their playoffs. They had to make a hell of a run, and they even were subbing out their jungler and Piosik during some of these matches and stuff just to make it. I was really looking at their KT roster and their Lift Sandbox, which I think Lift Sandbox is a really good team, but they were able to come out and realistically, if you shut down the bot lane, and you shut down Deft, they're kind of helpless. Their top lane and their jungler have not been very good. I understand that it's a really good region, and we'll get to see does technically the 6th best team, I know it's the 4th, but if you count their playoffs, their 6th best team, really that much better than everybody else? And I'm personally just going to say no. I don't believe so. I really think they're going to struggle, especially in best of ones, and I have a very good reason for why with the other 2 teams above them.
Yeah, no, I have Saigon Buffalo at 3. I have a lot of your same concerns about DRX. I don't really think they're all that great. And part of me really wishes that Fnatic got into this group because I would feel much more confident putting Fnatic over DRX. But man, Mad Lions, I was so high on them during the LEC regular season, but they just let me down time and time again down the stretch. So I really have very little faith in Mad Lions. So I have Saigon Buffalo at 3, taking them down in just the best of ones, of craziness or anything can happen. And then I do have DRX at 2nd, but I'm not loving putting DRX 2nd either. But I think they should. I think in most scenarios, without the absolute craziness happening, probably be able to come out ahead.
So I'm going to put then Mad Lions at 2. Now, here's my reasoning why. They were the kings of best of ones this year, okay? They still have the same full team. Yes, Arma can be a liability, but he can also be really good. It just depends. But here's the reality. Kingen and Juhan / Piosik, whoever ends up actually playing, they weren't very good, especially later on in the year. I know that they are coming from technically a better region, right? But I do believe in Niski. I don't care that it's at Worlds, whatever. He's been to North America, right? Like, he knows what it's like, to be on this time schedule and stuff like that. So I know they've had time to reset, but I don't take any of that stuff really into consideration. I just think that I think he's going to be fine here. I know he's probably never been to Mexico, but whatever. Like,
right, that's what I was going to say. But,
I just don't really I really believe that Kaiser is still probably one of the most underrated players in the world. I really wanted to put him on our top 30 list for players at Worlds, but with Mad Lions not showing up, like, it was just bad. But I really think he's really good. I think Unforgiven's going to be fine. I think Niski will be fine. I think it is going to come down to Arma, and I actually think they're just going to give him counter pick in all these games.
He can play Gentleman Gnar and Dino Gnar and Snow Day Gnar.
He'll play some Gangplank as well, and I think he'll be okay. I really do. I think he'll be fine. I think he's going to show out, and I really do think they're going to be able to, because, like, again, when they're playing DRX, what do you have to shut down? Deft. Who's going to be able to do that the best? Kaiser. I think right now Kaiser's potentially arguably the best player of the 4 people down there. Arguably. I know Deft has such a long history, so I'm not discrediting that. It's just where they are at in their career currently. So I know I'm crazy, but whatever. And then we both have RNG here. I don't think that's really any surprise. If this team doesn't make it in first place and win all 5 games, then something went horribly wrong. This team should.
Yeah, but I mean, we have seen crazier stuff happen with LPL teams. I do think the FPX collapse last year is crazier than, like, if RNG collapses this year, but you can't predict stuff like that, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Now I am gonna, not that it's gonna.
You want to average the numbers?
Well, I mean, not that I kind of did in my head. Oh wait, why did I do?
Yeah, no, you can do whatever. We'll make whatever work.
Because, I mean, here's the reality. I mean, I think that's the best, because I think while I do have...
You're coming out with one team at the end anyway.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
So then Mad versus Saigon. What do you got?
Yeah, I have Mad Lions in this one in, I hope, a banger. I got like a 5-game series, Mad Lions 3-2. Hopefully Buffalo's pulling out some crazy picks, that kind of stuff. But Mad Lions probably just being an overall more talented team, and that usually winning out in a best of 5. And if they do get hopefully some jitters out in the best of 1s, or learn from the best of 1s, if they do get punched in the mouth or something like that, I think they should be able to pull it out in a best of 5.
Yeah, I agree with you. Listen, I think people are just really underestimating this team. I want to remind everybody, they were the best team at final, or during the regular season, and they really came back and looked strong. They were able to beat anybody. And I think they still can do that. They got a little bit out draft. They got draft gapped a little bit. And yeah, their weaknesses got exposed, but they've had well over a month to fix that. So I'm not too concerned there. I do believe Saigon Buffalo goes down to Mad Lions. Now we go to Mad DRX. I have a feeling I know where you're going to go. I'm still coin flipping this one, and I know it sounds really stupid. I really do believe that Mad Lions are a lot better than everybody says that they are. I just feel like I'm going to end up wearing the lion hat and having to do the meow for Mike later, because
you don't even have faith.
Listen, I want to believe their collapse was really bad. I think they finished second because of the fact that they're really good in best of 1s. They've shown that. I'm okay with that. But they've also shown that they can really get draft gapped in best of 5s. I mean, they showed it twice. So it's really hard for me when seeing that to pick for them against an LCK team that does still have some talent, as much as I was crapping on it earlier.
Yeah, no, I definitely have DRX winning. I think it'll probably be I would predict a 3-1 or something like that. It's obviously, by the time this happens, we'll have so much more information about all these teams, but just kind of off my first thought right now, Mad Lions, again, in summer, they haven't really shown that they're particularly good at best of 5, so it's harder for me to pick, even if I do think they're going to be a little bit better. DRX has at least won a best of 5 at some point during the summer split. So
hey,
there you go.
They got a reverse sweep, I think twice to get their way back to Worlds. So that counts for something, right?
Hey everybody, quick cut in here at the end. We messed up just a wee bit because we misread the whole way that knockouts are played in play-ins. The team that we had winning the first game, which in each group real quickly was Mad Lions over Saigon Buffalo, and then Beyond Gaming over Chiefs. That third place team plays the team in the opposite group, which means that we would have Beyond playing DRX and Mad playing Fnatic. I'm going to quickly give you what we were going to pick, what we would have picked here. What you saw before would have been if they had played each other. That's what we would have predicted. Here, we will have I'll quickly go over Beyond DRX. We have DRX making this one pretty easily, honestly. This was not much of a challenge or discussion. I think for us, for either of us, we both see DRX as being a better team than Beyond. Then the Mad Fnatic, the battle of the LEC teams to see who makes it out. This would be absolutely crazy to see happen, and I think there's a decent chance that we do see it happen. So I'm kind of excited about that. But with that, I'm pretty sure that Jerm is going to end up picking Fnatic here, and I think that makes sense. Fnatic, was able to not only make it further than Mad Lions, but they should have, as he had stated before, their whole team together. That being said, I think Fnatic is a little... I just think they're a little discombobulated is the word that I'm going to use. And with that, I'm personally going to pick the Mad Lions to make it out of groups after beating Fnatic. I was as confident against DRX, but I'm a little bit more confident against Fnatic, especially with some of the news that has continued to come out this week about who's playing for them and some of the struggles that they are having at their facilities and all this other stuff. So, quick recap. Again, as an addition here, Beyond Gaming, that Jerm and I both had finishing third, beating Chiefs Gaming, would play DRX. We would both have DRX playing. Then we both had Mad Lions beating Saigon Buffalo, which would mean that they would play Fnatic, who we had finishing second in their group, and Jerm picking Fnatic, myself picking Mad Lions. We'll have to see. It's definitely going to be crazy, but yeah, back to the rest of the video.
All right, well, with that, real quick, we'll recap you before we head out here. Evil Geniuses and Fnatic making it out of their group, and then RNG and DRX making it out of their group. I think mostly what people are going to pick, we're not doing too many big surprises here, but I think there's a reason for it. I would love to see a minor region team make it. I would also love to see Mad and Fnatic both make it. I think that'd be really fun for the region. And boy, oh boy, NA fans, let's see Evil Geniuses make it out without us having to sit there and sweat.
Yeah, sounds good.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. Well, with that, from our house to yours, I'm Rob. He's Jerm. We'll see you on the next one.
Peace.